5 seconds. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to TTTV. And this of course is the Esports Mini League 1 rounds 1 and 2 tonight, which both take us to the French Grand Prix and then the Belgian Grand Prix later on tonight. Great to have you along with us. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for, I can't believe it's the first ever time, it's that Norwegian Sondre Sorhaug. Sondre, how are you tonight?
I'm pretty good, Kieran. Thank you for asking.
And obviously, this is the first time we're in the commentary box together. This is going to be a weird experience for both of us, I think, isn't it?
It might be a little weird, but imagine that it's actually the first time just now, Kieran, after all these years.
After all these years, yeah, we used to race together. Only one of those times ended in relative tears, but that's all right. We're over it now, or at least I am, anyway. Well, welcome along to tonight's Esports Mini League 1, and of course the five teams we're watching tonight, Sondre. They're all pretty quick. I mean, you've got ILRT, you've got Clean Vigor, you've got TNR, Livid and PMP, and some strong lineups here if we just take ourselves through the lineups. Now, of course, only I think it's now I've always got to work this out. It's 4 drivers from each team get picked, because then it adds up to 20. So from ILRT, they've got Yarnell, Thomas, Owen, Matty, Kilya, Ollie, Ray, Milosh, Lego Minecraft and Matt. Clean Vigor, they have Zach, Campbell, Verstappen, Cohen, Dropya, Baki, Cookie, Game Boys and Mr. Sky. TNR, they've got Bogan, Yonis, I'm going to have to work that one out. Langfell, thank you very much, Sandra. Torpedro, oh no, this is going to be a good night for me. We've got Ona Ole? Ona Ole. Right, okay. Thomas, Way, Frederick, Hazara, and Tanbergo. For Livid, we've got Luke, Ventic, McCrew, Ghosts, Bjorn, Ice-T, Deneen, Gavin, and Cohen. And for PMP, we've got Ginger, Geordie, Terror Racer, Cass, Fox, Crimson, Mike, Nathan, Farth, and Stinner. And now you're understanding the reasoning why Sondre is joining me in the commentary box. It's to help me with those Norwegian pronunciations. I mean, I will butcher them tonight. I do apologise to the whole TNR team for what's about to happen tonight. But strong lineups here from each team. And of course, you've got that inside knowledge of TNR. Who do you think has the upper hand coming into this one? Who do you see as the top competitor?
Among all the teams, I would have to say that depends a little on who the teams are going to be running. But PMP looks like quite a strong team. I've seen them in the past too, with especially Ginger and Terror Racer, I believe. Quite quick guys, so I think PMP is the team that are going to be the main competitor today.
Absolutely, and if we have a look at the calendar for tonight, of course you have just seen, if you've just come from Esports Mini League 3, they've just had the French and Belgian Grand Prix. You're joining us now for League 1, Race 1 and 2. Next week, which is the 20th of May, it will be League 2 having their first 2 rounds, and League 3 rounding off with Japan and Germany. And then myself and Sondra will be back on Wednesday the 27th of May at 8:30 UK time to finish off with the Japanese and German Grand Prix, with League 2 finishing just before us at Japan and Germany. And then if we have a look at the alternate point scoring system, well, you can see every single position scores a point so long as you make it to the checkered flag. And this is what has caught teams out before in previous mini leagues. We have had questions before asking, well, this driver won every single race, why didn't the team do better? Well, it relies on the whole team being consistent. If one of those drivers doesn't make it to the checkered flag, they could be cost themselves a mountain of points. And I mean, Sondra, I think you've been racing in the mini leagues as well. Just talk to us about what sort of teamwork goes on during the race, and is there a sort of encouragement from everybody to try and get to the checkered flag no matter how bad of a race you've had?
Of course there is. I've had a few entries there, even though it's quite a long time since the last one now, but at least for us in TNR, we were always focusing on everyone finishing the race. That is that was the main goal, because you know that some people are going to crash out, which means if everybody finishes, you pick up a few extra points. And except for that, it's just all about not fighting each other too much and try to work together to get to the line in the highest position possible.
Yeah, and I suppose it's going to be that great thing where you don't want to be the person to hold up the teammate behind you, but you've also got somebody else ahead of you on your team. I mean, is it slick with your team in the past, or has it been a bit messy sometimes?
I mean, it's a little up and down, I guess, on which drivers it is really, because of course somebody works better together than others. But in my experience, when I drove with these guys, then like I didn't really have much of a problem. If I were quicker than anyone, they let me through, and I'll try to not pull too hard to try to actually give them a little toe to keep up. And I don't really think it's been much of an issue in TNR, but I guess we'll find out later, Kieran.
We will indeed, and of course the first 2 rounds will be at the French Grand Prix and then the Belgian Grand Prix next time out. Remember, it's 25% races, 1-shot qualifying, clear weather and no safety cars. So anything goes really. We're expecting nice clear weather all the way through, and at a track, Sondra, that not many drivers are a huge fan of watching, but when you ask drivers when they drive it, they're actually okay with it. It's a little bit of a challenge to get your eyes adjusted to it, especially if you're watching this track.
Well, I can tell you that you're privileged to be with one of the drivers who really like this track, actually.
Well, there you go.
Enjoy the flow of it, and there is a little issue with the tires that like they do wear quite a lot, and you do need to not be too hard on them. But like when you get this track right, it's just a brilliant track to race, to be honest. And main point though for everyone is to stay within DRS, because out of that you're kind of left for dead behind there.
Absolutely. And then we've got Belgium coming up later on. I mean, I don't come across many drivers who don't like that track, but I believe history's taught me, Sondra, that you don't like it. Is that right?
Well, there's 2 sides of that. I don't really like driving it. Well, I didn't is actually a correct way to say it, as I do like it more nowadays, but I do recognize that it's a brilliant track, and it's quite a historic track, but I've had my issues with it, yeah.
Well, I've just been asked, Sondra, to do the points. Now, if you're not familiar with the history of Esports Mini League, I think I did it once and then never again. I was never asked to do it ever again, so that was a sign to me. Hopefully Andy Campbell is around. If you are around, Andy, give us a little wave in the chat there. And of course, if you're watching along, make sure you are supporting your team in the chat. I'm sure they will need all the support they will get. And obviously, it's going to be a tough 4 races as well. I mean, you've got ILRT, who have been pretty successful in previous mini leagues, but PMP, I quite fancy them. You're right. It's they've got a good lineup. Livid as well have some quick drivers as well. So when you put all these quick drivers together, you may not necessarily get the result you're expecting, or maybe even wanting at some point. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. We've got the French Grand Prix first. It is 1-shot qualifying, and of course it is multiplayer cars, which means one thing, Sondra, we get to see all the liveries that some of these teams work so hard to put all that effort in to get the liveries, to make sure that everybody else has exactly the same colour. You know, I've seen different coloured greens and different coloured yellows, and I'm sure that's so frustrating for the livery designer, but they look great when they all come together.
They really do, and I remember myself when we were putting together our final livery, and it wasn't that easy, because like everybody's got to try to get the colors to match, and then there is some confusion about the bars you're actually working on, and it's quite a lot back and forth when you do it. But when you really get it together, it feels like sort of an accomplishment, to be honest. And yeah, we're gonna see a lot of nice cars there today, Kieran.
Absolutely, and moments away, hopefully, from the start of 1-shot qualifying. I will ask this then, Sondra, just to put this on you. Which driver do you expect big things from here in the mini league?
Ooh. Quite a difficult question to answer, but I recognize a lot of names there, and I gotta say, from all the names I'm looking at, I will T1000 Saki is definitely gonna be quick, so I see ILRT Thomas too, so I think those two might be two of the quickest drivers here. But I see some other drivers like Ginger too, and it's gonna be difficult to predict who's gonna be top dog, as previously we've had ILRT with Louis, and it was a little more easy to predict who was gonna be that guy, but right now I think we're going to see some drivers fighting for that title, Kieran.
Yeah, and of course Lewis was a big part of that ILRT team when he was there. He's since moved on. However, they still have a good lineup. I know about Jarno. He is a good driver out there. Thomas as well has been he's been around since pretty much the start of Esports Mini League. I think I've been commentating over him for I don't know how long. Deneen is always a familiar name for me in the Livid Racing cars as well. And when it all comes down to it, Dropia has been there as well for the one of the other teams. Dropia QVR, that's who he's with. Yes, because what I quite like about Esports Mini League is when all the drivers have their first three initials at the start of their tag online. However, it gets a little bit tricky when some of them don't. But I know Dropia and I believe. Dropia is definitely QVR, so it takes a little bit of getting used to, just for me though. But I'm sure the livery of the cars is going to help me out. And of course, I have you, Sondra, to help me with the Norwegian pronunciation, so I'm sure what could go wrong?
Everything.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that, but anyway, here we are then, loading up into the French Grand Prix, and of course they've got that reprofiled pit lane entrance, where before it was after the final corner. Now you can see it goes off at the penultimate corner in towards the pit lane, and I suppose, Sondra, that's so much better nowadays.
Well, it's a lot better to actually use that entry, but to be behind cars using that entry is actually worse though, because obviously it's going off the track in the middle of the corner, so unless the driver head really keeps his line to the right like they're supposed to do, it can be pretty confusing when you're the car behind.
Well, we're loading up now into one-shot qualifying, and we are not far away from seeing who we get to ride on board with for the hot lap here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and it's got hundreds and hundreds of layouts here, Sondra, but we've only picked the one here to go racing at here tonight in Esports Mini League 1. 15 corners makes up 5.8 kilometres of this circuit here at the French Grand Prix. And of course, 25% race distance means we have 13 laps to enjoy here at the French Grand Prix. Of course, this is now when drivers decide which tyres they're going to start on, and therefore pretty much which strategy they're going to be on for the rest of the race. We're just waiting for Jonas now to make sure he's got the right setup. We're on board now with Thomas here, the Thomas with an H, as he makes his way across the start-finish line and onwards now towards turn one. Obviously, you go downhill on entry, then it's sort of uphill as you turn in towards turn one, all the way through turn two. You can see the undulation there as we ride on board, now heading all the way towards turns 3, 4 and 5. Try and pick up as much speed as possible, stay in 7th into the braking zone. Going into 8th loses you too much momentum. Now heading in towards the turn 5 here, and that's the end of the first sector, gone like that. Through turn 6, which is a long right-hand corner. Don't get suckered in to trying to commit too much grip there, otherwise you will run wide. Through turn 7 and in towards the DRS zone, then down all the way towards turns 8 and 9. The chicane that pretty much breaks up this long straight here, braking just at the 100-metre board here, on board with Thomas here. And as you make your way now through turn 9, the little kink there on the exit isn't a corner number, as you now make your way all the way up towards turn 10. No DRS up towards turn 10 though, so you've got to get the move done if you can on that DRS straight. Flat out there through turn 10. Try not to scrub off too much speed. Now we're heading through turn 11, which is always one of those tightening apex corners, kind of like Shanghai in turns 1, 2, 3 there. It just tightens on the apex and you've got to try and keep the grip there. In now towards turn 12, you can see there Thomas being quite tentative to try and find the apex there through T12, now through 13 and towards 14 now, as you can see the pit lane on the right hand side, then a tight turn 15. as you try and get the corner all the way through here. Try and get that car rotated towards the apex as you now make your way towards the start-finish line. The Thomas without an H is the one who gets pole position here at the French Grand Prix, but that was a lap of Circuit Paul Ricard.
And what a lap it was, Kieran.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at those qualifying results then for the first race of Esports Mini League 1. And it is Thomas on top then by 0.03 of a second ahead of Zach. Dropia in third, Kilwa in fourth with Ice-T fifth, Campbell sixth with Verstappen in seventh, Jonas in eighth, Matty ninth and Ginger rounds out the top 10. Jarnl in 11th, Geordie 12th, Cass in 13th, Thomas 14th, Nathan 15th, Venting 16th, Hazara in 17th, Ona Ole in 18th, Deneen 19th and Luke in 20th place. He was actually disqualified because he invalidated his lap time, so he'll be starting at the back of the grid. So the top 10 obviously have to start on the tyres they qualified on, but 1.8 separating the entire field. I'm assuming with some of those down the bottom there, they made a mistake. Obviously, we were riding on board with Thomas there, and he just seemed a little bit tentative going through turn 12 there.
Well, I can tell you that Thomas, as one of the drivers in my team, has been struggling a little on this game to pick up where he left off earlier, but today he's looking a lot more like I used to know him when he joined the team, and I think he can do well today, Kieran.
Well, of course, the French Grand Prix then, as you see the track map hopefully on your screen. Then 2 DRS detection points, 2 activation points with the speed trap just before turn 8 there, just before the braking zone there. And of course, you've got those 2 DRS zones, your best overtaking opportunities on the track. Well, turn 1 if you're brave enough, but you've got the run of DRS to help you try and make a move down the inside. The only problem is you'll be on the outside of turn 2 and then on the outside of turn 3, so you've really got to hang on in there if you want to try and make that work. Another overtaking opportunities, of course, turns 8 and 9. Obviously, if you try and go to the left-hand side, you'll be on the outside heading in through turn 9 and then ultimately on the outside of turn 10. So you've really got to pick and choose your positions and moments in this race. But now we head onto the formation lap then of the French Grand Prix, where 13 laps await us before we get going here at the French Grand Prix. And let's just have a look at the strategy that ideally we're going to be using here tonight. You can see soft tyres there. Lap 4 to 7 is the window on this soft tyre, but if you start on the medium tyres, your window is looking at lap 6 to 9. No, 6 to 9, and then going to the end on the soft tyre. But let's have a look and see at those tyres here. You can see all of the top 10 obviously have to start on the soft tyres, as that's the tyre they qualified on. Jarnl, Cass, Thomas, Venting, Hazara, Ona Ole, Deneen and Luke, they're all starting on the medium tyres. The only 2 outside the top 10 that are starting on the softs are Geordie for PMP and Nathan there, who's in 15th place, sort of right slap bang in the middle. He's hoping to try and get some ground made up in towards the first and opening part of this race. But hopefully, if you haven't seen these graphics before, well, that is Tom behind the scenes, so I'd say give us a little wave, Tom, but he's probably so busy with the graphics he's not going to hear us. But I'm looking forward to this, Sondra. It's the first time we've shared a commentary box, and hopefully it won't be the last.
Hopefully it won't, and I'll actually give you some insight as a driver on the strategy you mentioned there, because pitting on lap 4 with the soft tires might not necessarily be the best strategy around here, because the softs, they tend to struggle with overheating. So I think we could see some drivers possibly going on as early as lap 3, maybe 2 actually.
Well, we shall have to wait and see how that all plays out then. Meanwhile, it is Thomas who's on pole position then. Kilwa, his one of his teammates anyway, in 4th place. You've got Zach there occupying the second place spot, front row of the grid for QVR. It was a good qualifying for the QVR cars actually. 2nd, 3rd, 6th and 7th. That was the best team qualifying at this moment in time. But as the cars get ready to line up on the grid here at the circuit Paul Ricard, well, as I said, there's hundreds of ways you can race here, but this is the way we're racing, this layout, this track, and obviously, let's see how it all goes down. Remember, turn 1 and 2 is going to be hairy there. Avoid the outside of the tracks if possible. The wear on the tyres will be quite extraordinary if that is the case. And in true mini league style, we get the 5 red lights first, they'll go out, and then we get the idea of trying to figure out when those clutches will be dropped. You can see the revs rising at some point. We will be underway, and we are underway. What are the starts like? It's a great start from the QVR cars then as they make their way on towards turn 1. Already Thomas having to defend then in towards turn 1, but he's got a great start as well, heading all the way through. Let's see if they can all make their way through. You can see there Kilwa trying to go up the inside of Dropia then as we make our way in through turn 2, just about getting all the way through. Is there drama at the back? Yes, there is. Thomas is around. Jarnel, Onaole, Luke is also involved in the scrap as well. Meanwhile, Matty is going side by side there, and he's trying to make up a couple of positions here, trying to go up to 8th place, but that is Ginger who's around at turn 4, I think that is, or turn 5. And he just lost the back end there, and Nathan was also caught up on that, his teammate there, so he will not be impressed with that one. However, Ginger falls all the way down the field. Meanwhile then Dropia is right behind his teammate Zach here, and I wonder if the QVR cars will be thinking at this early point of team orders. It might have to wait, because Kilwa here is right on the back of Dropia as they make their way towards turn 10. Surely not a move this early on then as we make our way through turn 10, but Kilwa is still right on the back of that QVR car, but no way through just yet at this moment in time. Ice-T then for Livid Racing is starting to fall away a little bit. Meanwhile, Cass in the PMP car goes round the outside of Venting. Then you can see he's still on the outside and he gets the move done. Then Cass is up the inside. Oh, sorry, that is Nathan who tries to go up the inside there. A little bit of lag involved. You can see Venting actually does have front wing damage. That's why he's struggling so much on this opening lap. So he must have been caught up in a scrap somewhere, and he chooses to elect to go into the pit lane eventually, but he gets 5-second penalty for cutting the track there, or exceeding track limits anyway. Kilwa right on the back of Dropia then as we make our way towards turn 1 once again for the second lap of this race. And of course 25% races, short sharp action. That pit window will be open sooner than you know it. But Sondra, you probably had a better look at turn 1 and 2 there. What exactly happened?
I didn't have the best look, but it was somebody around maybe 15th, 14th place around that area. That I don't know exactly how he ended sideways, but he ended sideways, and obviously that just created a chain reaction with few of my drivers, TNR Thomas and Oneole, ending up getting damage from that. But yeah, I don't know exactly who it was and how he ended there, but it was a little carnage.
Geordie there getting away past Matty in towards turns 8 and 9, so the PMP car is up a position. Meanwhile, Thomas leading the way 0.6 of a second ahead of the two QVR cars of Zach and Dropia. Kilwa is also right behind then, 0.4 of a second, now down to 0.3 for the ILRT car there. The first Livid car, Ice-T then, still trying to keep behind Kilwa for now, just trying to keep tabs on the car ahead. Meanwhile, Verstappen here right behind Jonas, who's the highest running TNR car at this moment in time, trying to put some pressure on Campbell, but he's got to be careful about the QVR car of Verstappen right behind him then, who will put him under pressure if he's not careful through 14 and then through 15. And Verstappen actually comes into the pit lane there, and so too does Dropia. Is this a very early stop, or is this for damage, I wonder? Lap 2 is very, very early, but look, the medium tyres are ready for both cars as Dropia goes all the way down the pit lane. DRS is now enabled. That's very rare to see cars in the pit lane before the DRS is even activated.
I gotta say, this is exactly what I talked about, Kieran. They're in for an early pit stop to make sure they avoid the overheating soft tires. And was it the Dropia and Verstappen? Yeah, so they might be able to work together, and this could be a race-winning move.
It could be indeed. Cass is right on the back of Hazara here as we make our way through turn 7 onwards now towards turn 8. And of course DRS here will help Cass. Will he get a move to the left hand side? Yes, he will. Can he try and make this move stick there with that DRS? Yes, he can. He gets into that racing line and takes 8th place away from Hazara. And there you can see the DRS helping that move just stick there. And Hazara running an all black livery actually. He's running the test car, is he, Sandra?
Well, I think I remember why he's running this black livery. I think he's just forgotten to change the livery, because there was a friend of one of the drivers in TNR that passed away some time ago right before an event, so we all drove black cars. Pretty sure he's just forgotten to change the car here.
Oh, it was a lovely touch, whatever race it was anyway. Zach makes his way into the pit lane now from the lead. Sorry, it wasn't from the lead, it was from second place, because of course Thomas was already leading the race. The pit lane here is so slow, but it's almost reminiscent of Silverstone, where it cuts out a huge chunk of the track, so you gain a load of positions, and then because the pit lane is so slow, you lose them all again, and it's just so much time lost in the pit lane. And if this was a 50% or maybe even a 100% race, one stops would be very much thought about here. So Thomas still leads then, ahead of Kilwa, Ice-T and Campbell. Geordie there in 5th place with Cass in 6th. Hazara then is in 7th place, trying to chase him down. Started the race on medium tyres. Nathan then is in 8th place with Deneen right behind then in 9th on medium tyres. Dropia, the first ones of the ones to pit in, fallen all the way. Now has got Zach behind him, Jonas behind him as well, so he's got past his teammate. Now he needs to focus on trying to take the lead, but can he get those medium tyres to the end of this race?
Well, I'm pretty sure he should be able to do that, Kieran. The mediums are very durable tyre around here. They will obviously not be that great at the end, but they should be good enough, and I think he might be on the best strategy here.
Zara trying to put the car ahead under pressure. You saw there on the telemetry that Deneen has got away past Jarnall there. Deneen got past Nathan there, you can see. So he is now up a position. And the QVR cars, I remember this livery because half the front wing is white and half the front wing is black. So it looks like that you've got an M plate off. But Campbell is in along with Kilwa and Thomas from the lead of the race. So does Geordie pit in, I wonder? Let's have a look. No, he doesn't. He stays out for another lap on these soft tyres. And surely those soft tyres at some point will be screaming in agony, Sondra.
They should be screaming already, unless he has some sort of secret setup management. I do not know, but as far as I know, though, he's pulling those tires too long, and he's gonna drop quite far down if you ask me. But we'll see.
Thomas has just about rejoined ahead. No, he hasn't. Thomas drops behind Dropia then. So Dropia now takes the lead of this race then, or the net lead of this race, I should say. But the undercut by 2 laps has worked. And now Thomas finds himself behind one of the QVR cars. And now with Zach close and hot on his heels there, Thomas now has 2 lap fresher tyres. So that might benefit him towards the end of this race. But a good strategic call from Dropia so far. Let's ride on board with Thomas then, as he'll have the DRS on the QVR car ahead. Trying to get past him now will be critical. Can he make the move stick? Dropia moves to the left-hand side to defend the inside of turn 8 here. He'll have the inside of turn 9, Will Thomas. He turns in and takes away the position once again. And Dropia now falls to 8th place with Thomas moving ahead. Of course, no DRS all the way up towards turn 10. So Thomas just has to not scrub off too much speed then. And he's got this position signed, sealed and delivered then. Dropia will try around the outside of turn 10 here. That you can see the ILRT car gives him the space around the outside. Dropia still looking for the move around the outside there. Goes onto the blue stuff on the outside. That blue fiberglass material, which is designed to cause serious abrasion to those tyres. You don't want to stay on those for too long. But Dropia and Thomas there battling away. Thomas comes out on top for now.
What an interesting battle to see there. You can see that even though there is no DRS straight there, Kieran, it's very possible to make the move. However, I don't think Dropia really tried to make the move there. I think he more tried to pressure Thomas into maybe a mistake, or just pressure him to keep spending his DRS.
Well, you can see that Thomas now in 5th place, with Dropia now down into 6th. As you can see, then the top 4 are still yet to pit in this race. Thomas and Ona Ole put on some hard tyres then. So obviously they want to get to the end of the race, but they thought the move was too early. They obviously had to pit in due to damage. So hard tyres are probably the way to go when it doesn't work out for you like that. But you can see Thomas is trying to open up this gap. Meanwhile, then Jarnall and Deneen going side by side through turns 8 and 9. You can see Jarnall's got the move done, or has he? Because Deneen here is right on the inside. You can see there the ILT car trying to give him a little squeeze on the run up towards turn 10. Of course, no DRS here. Deneen has the inside line. You can just about see the ILRT car on the outside as we now head our way in through turn 11, and he's got the move done. Has Jarnall there, but Deneen looks up the inside, but quickly saw that door was going to be slammed shut and backed out of it as soon as he could. But Jarnall now up to 3rd place.
But looking further down the grid though, Kieran, Thomas is holding up a massive train here. They're all on to his tail, and he's going to have a hard time shaking these QVR drivers. And is it 3 QVR? It's 2 ILRT and 3 QVR cars, and it's going to be difficult for him, Mikey.
It is, and the traction off of turn 15 is so crucial as well. There you can see, I think that's a little bit of team order. Zach has gone past Dropya, and that was perfectly timed there because they had to make that move stick and not let Kilwa have a chance or have a sniff at that position. He's currently being hounded by one of the other QVR cars of Campbell here, and I tell you what, QVR here at the French Grand Prix are putting themselves in great stride at the moment.
They really are, and you can see that Campbell he's really trying to get past Kilua here, but it's gonna be difficult. He's gonna have to try to pull something out of the bag to get past there. However, coming down this straight though, we can see that Zach is a little too far behind Thomas, and I don't really think we're gonna see much of an attack yet.
Well, not just yet. I think it's a waiting game here. Kilwa kind of misses the apex there for turn 8, but it will give him the apex for turn 9, and arguably that's the most important corner there, because now on the run up towards turn 10 is where you need to defend. Cass is trying to defend, meanwhile, from Hazara, who are both yet to pit in this race. They started the race on these medium tyres, so they're looking for that pit window. Lap 6 to 9, allegedly, so we'll have to see how that goes. But if you're right there, Sondra, and drivers are avoiding the soft tyres because of the overheating issues, then they'll probably go into those soft tyres as late as they possibly can.
Definitely, Kieran, and I think the more likely pit window from the driver's view will be around lap 10 to 12, depending on how good those mediums are.
There you can see then Deneen dropping down the order as he's in the pit lane right now and on those soft tyres. Meanwhile, you can see there Kilwa had a think about up the inside of turn 1 there, but not quite this time. Still right behind Dropya though, and giving him something to think about. And I think in these team events, that's what you have to do. You have to give other drivers something to think about. If you're in their mirrors, if you're constantly looking at an open door on the inside or a late apex on the exit of another corner, then you're giving the driver in front something to think about. That's an advantage, and it could force an error.
So good, and I'm actually on with LR Ice-T here, Kieran, who's getting very close to QVR Verstappen now. I think he might be going for a move into this chicane. He's a little too far back, unfortunately. There's a little train forming behind that last QVR car too.
Yeah, so Kilwa has to be careful as well as he's ahead of Campbell. But you can see there Verstappen is going to have his handfuls here with Ice-T, Jonas and Geordie behind. And Ginger, who didn't get a great start in this race, will be hoping to try and make amends late on into this race. You can see a lovely shot there of turn 11, that sweeping right-hander. There's such a great shot of that one. Meanwhile, then Cass comes into the pits but gets himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is a slap on the wrist, and that'll be applied at the end of this race. Make sure as well you are supporting your team in the chat as well, as Jarnel now takes the lead, but he is on an old set of medium tyres, yet to stop in this race, but he's not far up the road either. As you can see, the 3 QVR cars, in fact you could just about see all 4 QVR cars in the same shot. They have had a great race so far, but it's not over yet.
It is so far from over, but now I think QVR Verstappen might be in a little trouble, as LR Ice-T might have tapped him a little in turn 1 and 2, and I think he backed out of the move as there might have been a small touch there, but if he wouldn't, they would have taken that position.
Well, he's got to be careful, has the QVR car of Verstappen here, because he's going to be under pressure. Meanwhile, Kilwa here is down the inside of one of the QVR cars, but look at that, he just doesn't quite have the straight line speed to try and get past. Obviously, there's a little bit of too much downforce on one part of the wing there. Meanwhile, Geordie is looking for a move up the inside of Jonas here in towards turn 8, now around the outside at turn 9. He'll have a bit of traction and gets that move done. Brilliant move there from Geordie. He's now up to 9th place.
It's a really pretty move there by him. Obviously not the best move for me to watch. Almost a little tear shed there, but still a brilliant move by him.
Meanwhile, Hazara here is trying to go up the inside at turn 10, then on the inside of Matty. Has he got the move done in towards turn 11? Yes, he has, on those soft tyres. Shows how superior the grip is on those soft tyres and gets the move done. And that is another position there for the TNR car. All 20 cars who started this race are still currently running in it. That means every single position is a point-scoring position. Of course, we're running the alternate point-scoring system where all positions score points so long as you make it to the checkered flag. And I tell you what, Verstappen has fallen away quite dramatically from the front 5, I should say, because he's now 5 seconds behind his teammate Campbell.
I think that is the fact of what I said earlier before the race started. You have to be in that DRS straight. It's so crucial because you're going to lose a lot of time on the straights if you're not in it, as you can't simply not save enough ERS.
Jarnell there has now come out of the pit lane. He's 16th place. That is just not where he wants to be whatsoever. Meanwhile, Kilwa here is looking on the inside of Dropia, but you can see they've all got DRS, so it's quite difficult to try and make the move stick here. Now going through turn 9, and now we go through turn 10.
is going to make a move on Verstappen, though. Verstappen manages to defend himself on the outside going into the chicane, and he's still ahead.
Well, Kilwa, sorry,
worn out now.
Kilwa here is trying to get a little bit under Dropia's shell here. He's trying to make mistakes here, or trying to force the error at hand, but Dropia is hanging on there. Kilwa is doing his absolute best. Oh, a little bit of a tap there as we headed through turn 12 there. Through 13 we go. Is there a move here? There could be, you know, as he looks up the inside at turn 14 here. He'll be on the outside for turn 15. Can he get this move done? Round the outside he'll go. Can he get the power down? Can he get the traction here for third place in this race? Yes, he can. And Kilwa now moves up to third place. An important move, but it is not over yet. Will Dropia have a look up the inside? He thought about it, but then tucks back into the slipstream there behind the ILRT car, and that is one crucial move that Kilwa had to make stick.
Oh, and now Hazara is going to go down the inside in turn 1 on Cassidy, and he's made the move stick quite easily, actually. And he's just going to drag along them.
Yeah, on those soft tyres as well. In fact, Cass was on those soft tyres as well. So Azara obviously making those soft tyres work just a little bit better, and helped obviously with the DRS down the start finish straight. Thomas still leads then ahead of Zach Kilwa, Dropia, Campbell, Verstappen, Ice-T, Geordie, Yonis, Ginger, Hazara, Cass, Nathan, Matty, Janel, Dineen, Luke, Ventig, Thomas and Ona Ollie. Oh, that's Ice-T looking for a move. Now he's around the outside at turn 9. Is he right on the tail of Verstappen here, but gets a little bit sideways out of turn 10, or turn 9 I should say. Still right on the back of the QVR car as we make our way towards turn 10. Still in that slipstream there. You can see Verstappen is trying to hold on for as long as he possibly can. There's a PMP car going up the inside there. That's Geordie, who somehow manages to hold on to it. He tapped the side pod. I think that was of Ice-T there. He was trying to go up the inside, but he's lost the back end slightly with that tap.
And that is dropped right out of the fight for the lead as he was battling away with ILRT Kilwa. Tap in the penultimate corner, and he's out of the fight, Kieran.
He's out of the fight, but he's still there in 5th place. He's just going to get that car to the start-finish line just twice more now, and he'll be able to pick up some points for his team. Hugely frustrating, though, for Dropia as he was running right up there. But they've got to remember that it's not a driver-based event, it's a team-based event. It don't matter who wins, it matters that all the cars are as high up as they can possibly be. So right now, you can see Zach is at 1st, Campbell 4th, Dropia 5th, and Verstappen is 6th. At the moment, they're the highest scoring points team so far, so it's not too bad for them, but I know Dropia will be mightily disappointed.
Oh, he will, but actually this could be a lifeline for QVR Verstappen, though, as if Dropia, he's not going to be able to catch up to the cars ahead, but he could drop back a little and help Verstappen to keep Ice-T behind, as he's still getting close, but he's not getting past there.
No, he's not. He seems to be losing the back end slightly coming out of turn 10 there. So we've got a car around. That is Luke, who's around at turn 2. Meanwhile, Ice-T is putting major pressure on Verstappen. Is this a move? Is this a move he can craft here in towards turn 10? Verstappen gives him the room then. The livid car is up the inside through turn 11. Has he got the move done? No, not quite. The QVR car is hanging on. Ice-T tries around the outside at turn 12, trying a little bit of a cutback here. Goes across the curbs. That's not going to help the traction. Through 13 we go. Onwards towards 14 and 15 as we now go on to the final lap of this race. Thomas leads the race. Will he finish the race there? I wonder. Well, they've got just over 5 kilometres to settle it here on track for the first round of this race. We've got a car off now. I think that's Luke, who's around again at turn 7 there. So that's not been a good day for him whatsoever.
10-lap old soft tires, not too surprising actually. They will not be much fun to be driving on right now, but look at this though. T1000 Zag right on the back of Thomas. I'm sure he's going to try to go for a move on this lap, Kieran.
Well, let's have a look and wait and see. And Luke has retired from the race. That's Livid not scoring points. That's 1 point, but that could make the difference. Meanwhile, Kilwa trying to move up the inside in towards turn 8. He knows this is the last lap now. In through turn 9 now, around the outside. Can he try and make this move stick? No. He's squeezed onto that fiberglass material there, which doesn't do good for the tyres. And Kilwa has to stay behind for now. Zach is trying to defend as hard as he possibly can. Kilwa now up the inside through turn 10. Now towards turn 11. Can he get this move signed, sealed and delivered? Still got that inside line for turn 11. Has he got this move done? You can still see they're still scrapping now in towards turn 12. Now the QVR car has the inside line through turn 12. Kilwa has not got that move done. Zach has just about held on here, and Thomas now making his way through the final couple of corners. Zach is going to have his hands full now. He needs to get turn 15 and the traction out of that corner absolutely spot on, but Thomas here will come across the line to take the first win of the first round. Zach finishes in second place. Kilwa 0.08 of a second there in third place, with Campbell in fourth. Ice-T is at sixth there. Drop your fifth, and you can see cars coming across the line. A huge shake up there through penalties, and that is the top 10 currently decided. Hazara is 11th, and Jarnell now passes him all the way through there. You can see Deneen makes his way towards the line, 16th place for him. Just to go through a little bit of that mid-table: Verstappen 7th, Ice-T 8th, Ginger 9th, Geordie 10th, Jarnell in 11th, Hazara in 12th, Cass 13th, Matty 14th, Nathan in 15th, with Deneen 16th, Thomas 17th. One Ole will come across the line in 18th place, and Ventink here, I think he's actually, yes, he's got a front left puncture, so he's obviously pushed those tyres just a little bit too far here. But if he gets to that checkered flag, if he gets to the start-finish line, he'll score 2 points for Livid. So he's just got to try and nurse that car back, and obviously this is just costing him a mountain of time here. There's not going to be a lot of grip going through the final couple of corners, but as long as he gets the checkered flag, he'll be able to get some valuable points here for Livid in what has been a tough race for them. 16th, 19th, 20th, and I think 8th place, their highest driver in Ice-T. But your winner for the first race of Esports Mini League 1, it's an ILRT car on top. Where have we seen that before? But a great display from QVR.
It was, and unfortunately for Verstappen, he was behind Droppy. He really fell down the field on the last lap there, Kieran. You were following the battle for the lead, but you had a nice view of that battle, and I don't know what happened to him. It looked like he just crumbled completely in that second and final sector on the last lap.
Well, there you can see Thomas celebrating away for the first win here for the ILRT team, but a great performance from the QVR drivers, that's for sure. They'll be happy with that strong points haul heading into the second round of this race, which of course is coming up right now, or next I should say, so stick around with us. But your official, unofficial results then for the first round of Esports Mini League 1. Thomas takes the win with Zach in second, Kilwa in third, Campbell fourth with Dropia in fifth, Jonas in sixth with Verstappen in seventh, Ice-T 8th with Ginger 9th, and Geordie rounds out the top 10. Jarnell in 11th with Hazara 12th, Cass in 13th, Matty 14th, Nathan 15th, Deneen 16th, Thomas 17th, Ona Ole in 18th, Ventink in 19th, and Luke not finishing that race means no points scored for his position there, 20th place. That's 1 point, but 1 point could mean all the difference. Well, you can see the standings here. We don't really take on board the driver standings. It's more about the team standings at the end of this, and of course someone has to work them out. So have I been tasked with it? I hope not, because it looks like they're going to be wrong. But we'll have to find out and see how it is. But I'll try and keep on top of it if I possibly can, and hopefully you'll be able to stick around for that. But Sondra, that was an interesting first race, I have to say. 2 ILRT cars on the top, on the steps of the podium, but QVR had a pretty decent race.
They had a phenomenal race. The only thing they were missing was getting past Thomas. They all, well, where did they finish? Second, third, and fourth and eighth, sixth, something around there. Yeah,
second, fourth, fifth, and seventh. QVR.
7th, yeah. So absolute phenomenal drive by all their drivers. Verstappen, as I said, fell a little apart on the final lap, but I think there were some penalties there that ensured him to finish that high up in the end anyway. But absolutely brilliant driving from the QBR guys today.
Absolutely, and of course this is the time now where we go through the alternate point scoring system, which of course, why don't we have that on the screen? So this is what we're working from right now. Of course, the winner of the race gets 25 points for their team, and obviously the highest finisher was 19th place, so 2 points scored is the lowest in this race. Because of the retirement for one of the Livid cars, they will not score that 1 point, and you know, we've seen championships like this where consistency is key. That 1 point could mean all the difference.
It certainly can, and you really don't want to give away that 1 point. You've seen championships been decided by 1 point at multiple occasions in F1 history, and I'm not sure if we've seen it in this mini league, Kieran. You might have an idea there, but certainly not going to be a good feeling for them losing that point.
It's definitely decided who's going to stay up and who gets relegated. It has definitely decided that across some of these leagues. So it is really important to get those in. And yeah, if you finish bottom, there is a risk you could go down for the next time you compete. So that really is a huge deal. And I'm sure that the Livid guys will not be too happy with not scoring that 1 point. But that's the life of the Esports Mini League. You've got to remember to get to the checkered flag. That is rule number 1.
Exactly, and another point of view on it too, though, there is a second race happening around Belgium, and they really do not think too much about that point they've lost. They've lost that, they can't do anything about it. It's a shame, but now they gotta just reset their focus to get around the next track.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the most important thing as well, is that they hit the reset button and just go again here at Belgium. And of course, it's a very, very short track, Belgium. Well, not a short track, but a short race, I guess, 11 laps, but it is 7.004 kilometres, which always gets me. It's just over 7 kilometres, the track, but it's come under scrutiny and criticism over the past few games. Just what is it, Sandra, that drivers are not quite clicking with?
Well, I don't know about everyone, but I know especially for myself, even though I don't have that issue anymore, but that in the past I usually had a tendency to not find a setup that would be stable through Eau Rouge. And of course, if you have an unstable setup there, you easily end up in the wall, and I think that's an issue for a lot of drivers. There is also an issue about how to mix up the setup with the long camo straight and then into the second sector where you really need the downforce. So I think it's mostly about the setups there that drivers usually tend to struggle getting right.
Yeah, and well, I mean, whilst you're here, Sandra, let's talk about your team, TNR. How do you think they went on in the first round?
Well, T-John did his usual thing. He's usually managing to end up in quite a high position, no matter where he's starting or anything. So he did exactly what I expected. The other guys, they had a little unluck of obviously with Onioli and Thomas at the beginning, getting caught in that car that I mentioned that was sideways. I'm not sure what car it was, so could have been better, but they got the car to the line, which is the most important thing. Yeah,
and this is the thing we say time and time again. Luckily, on the admin side, there is someone doing the points for me. It's not like I got 3/4 of the way through and mucked up halfway through because I forgot to drive it. Anyway, as you can see in the chat there, QVR are at the top there with 70 points, ILRT 62, PMP on 37, TNR 31, and Livid Racing on 20. Of course, that's the unofficial results from round number 1. And we just have to say for the drivers that if there are any instances that you want to submit to the stewards, you can do so. I believe you've been briefed about where to go and where to send it to. So do that. That's why we call them the official, unofficial results, because they are. It could change going into it. And obviously, with stewards' decisions and all the points matter, it could be huge if you're given sort of a 5-second time penalty at the end of it.
Oh, it certainly can, and especially with the race we saw in France, where there was two quite big slipstream trains. Of course, if you get hit with a 5-second penalty for something you shouldn't have done, then that could cost you maybe 4 or 5 positions. So yeah, it could be crucial in the end.
It really, really could. And like I said, QVR, great race from them. They have been sort of finishing second and third in the previous two mini leagues. They've got a strong field behind them. They've got plenty of support. Is it too early to pick a favourite here, Sondre?
It's never too early, Kieran. Never too early. But I saw team consistency. I gotta say, QVR impressed me, and I watched most of the mini leagues, and I've seen them being up there every time. Of course, with ILRT in the last few ones have been quite dominant with the ILRT Louis leading the way back then. So with a slightly slower ILRT team, and by no means do I mean that they're slow, but with a slightly more evened out field, I think QVR might be the big favourite there.
Yeah, QVR are certainly got the support there in the chat, and make sure you let us know who you are supporting in the chat there, as we're now counting down towards the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Remember, when it comes to this point scoring system, there is no separate point for fastest lap of the race. It is a bog standard first to 20th, no fastest lap bonus point, because there was a reasoning I was told. It's more to do with the fact that every point scores positions, so it sort of defeats the purpose of trying to go for the fastest lap. So that's why it's not there. But we're now loading up in towards one-shot qualifying, and it's probably a good time to talk to the viewers about the Belgian Grand Prix. Obviously 7.004 kilometres, and obviously lots of corners to get stuck into here. 11 laps around this amazing circuit that takes us on a trip through the Ardennes Forest. 2 DRS detection points, of course, one leading onto the start-finish line, the other leading onto the Kemmel Straight. And it's such a fantastic circuit, Sondre. I love it when we come here. The atmosphere is there, it is great there, but it's one of those tracks as a spectator. If you sit in a certain point of the track, you see the cars the least often. It's a really bizarre track.
Well, I guess you're right in saying that, actually, but obviously that has to do with the length of the track. It's one of the longest tracks, if not the longest. I'm not completely sure about that, but still, though, nonetheless, it's just such a brilliant track. And even just with those 2 DRS straights, you have that long back straight heading on to Blanchimont 2, where you really can't get a move on if you're close enough to the car ahead. So it's just a brilliant track altogether, Kieran.
As we're just waiting for 2 drivers now to decide their strategy coming up for this race, as now we ride on board with Ginger here as we make our way now on towards the start-finish line to start this flying lap here at Belgium, in towards the Source hairpin. Watch out for the traction here on the exit, then it's downhill to help with the acceleration all the way through turn 2, and then onwards now towards Eau Rouge and Radion as you're climbing through here. It's so steep through here, and cold tyres and heavy fuel loads could mean the cars find themselves all wrong going onto the first lap. Now into the DRS zone, down the Kemmel Straight as we head towards Les Combes for the first time here at the end of Sector 1, in towards 5, 6 and 7. Use those curbs to your advantage. They're there for a reason, especially this curb here. You've got a bit of AstroTurf on the inside as well. Try and use that to your advantage. Now making our way now down towards Brussels, and there's very different lines you can take through here. You can see there Ginger running deep at first, but then able to rotate the car in order to get to the apex through X corner, and now heading all the way downhill towards the double left-hander of Pouon here. Down a gear if you need to, as you can see there, down to 6th and then up to 7th again on the exit. Watch out for that curb on the left-hand side through the second part. If you touch that curb, that's your car all around. In towards this section now through Campus, as you now try and keep that car in line there. There's a little bit of a drop of the back end there, a little bit of oversteer going through as we head our way now on towards Stavelot and in towards turn 15 now. Holding on here, full throttle now pretty much all the way to the bus stop chicane. What separates you from the bus stop chicane now, of course, is the legendary Blanchimont corner of turn 17. Flat out through here. Try not to scrub up too much speed. Use that curve if you need to. And now onwards towards that bus stop chicane here, in towards the final 2 corners of turns 18 and 19. Slowest part of the track. Watch the traction on the exit. Straight line it if you can towards that start finish line. And it is Thomas there who finds himself on pole position yet again. But that's a lap of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit.
What a lap it was from Thomas. I was on board with him throughout the whole lap, and it was really good and solid, and it looks stable, Kieran.
Absolutely, and here we go for the qualifying results then. Thomas on pole position by nearly half a second. Dropia in second place with Zach in third. Campbell in fourth and Verstappen in fifth. Look at that, all the QVR cars in a row. Ginger in sixth, Geordie seventh with Ventink in eighth, Katz in ninth, and Thomas rounds out the top 10. Jarnel 11th, Ice-T 12th, Jonas in 13th, Hazara 14th. Bogan is a substitution, I think, in the TNR team. Terror Racer is also there. Luke, Kilwa, Matty and Deneen all invalidated their laps there. So I think Jay Bogan is a substitute for TNR, and I think Terror Racer is also a sub there. I think that's for PMP, and of course they are allowed to do that. You are allowed a whole list of drivers. I think you're allowed up to 10 available drivers, but only 4 of them can race, and you can throw them in at whatever rounds you like.
And obviously sometimes some teams are going to throw in some drivers that are better for certain tracks, and I don't know if that's why they've chosen Jebogin, but one thing is for sure, he's one of the most solid TNR drivers and consistent TNR drivers, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. And for Terror Racer, I've seen great races from him before too, so it's going to be interesting to see what these two can do now.
And of course, one last look at that fantastic track there. 25%, 11 laps takes us around 19 turns as we blast our way through the Ardennes forest. No threat of weather this time around, which is such a huge characteristic of the Belgian Grand Prix. What it does give us, though, is one of the longest formation laps on the calendar, which should give us plenty of time, Sondra, to talk all about strategy. Now, at a track like this, 7 kilometres long, you really are pretty much at a standstill about strategy. These soft tyres can last longer than you think if you're kind to them. You're looking at around about lap 4 to 6 there. I think the graphics are slightly wrong, is that? Or maybe the soft tyre, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the soft tyre is the one to go for, Sondra. You know what? Let's go with that strategy. 5 to 7 on the soft tyre windows with medium tyres towards the end, or if you're going for the mediums, the suggested strategy is that 4 to 6. So that's a very, very interesting strategy. Maybe drivers favouring that soft tyre here. If we have a look at the detail here that you can see, pretty much all of the top 10 starting out on the medium tyre, or outside the top 10 I should say, starting on the medium tyres with Matty and Deneen there, 19th and 20th starting on a set of the soft tyres. But of course, everyone out in the top 10 has to start on the tyre they qualified on. Jarnel there in 11th place starting on the soft tyre, so he's looking to just try and get away from that pack. But yeah, Lassour's hairpin for the first lap, then through Eau Rouge and Radion. The car can be very, very heavy through there. Cold tyres, heavy fuel load, that rear end, especially at the top of the hill at Radion, likes to be a little bit loose there.
Oh, it certainly does, and I think that is the main problem a lot of drivers have with Belgium when driving here. It's first lap, it's really not pleasant up there, but it gets better and better as you do the laps. And as you were talking about the soft tires there, this is the completely opposite of what we saw in France. The soft tires could go about 10 laps if you really wanted to, so it's going to be interesting to see. I do not think we're going to see anyone pit on lap 2 in this race.
Now, I've just been corrected there at the rules. I obviously didn't look at them hard enough. You get the 10 selected. You pick 4 for the event, and you only swap them out if there's a problem. That's me misleading the facts there. That's not me not reading the rule book quite clearly. Yeah, they're 10.6.1. There it is. There you go. Only if there's a problem can you make a substitute. Anyway, 11 laps await us here at the Belgian Grand Prix as we make our way in towards that bus stop chicane. And well, 11 laps. Well, that probably pretty much gets us 77 kilometres to enjoy here as we now get our way onto the grid. An ILRT car on pole position once again, but QVR 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. This has been a really good day for them, but can they work together to try and get past Thomas, or at least try and knock him off the top spot? It's not going to be easy. He proved it's not going to be easy last time out by pulling off the undercut there on Dropia and Zach at the French Grand Prix. But we are moments away from the Belgian Grand Prix at the second round of Esports Mini League 1, and in true Mini League fashion, the 5 lights come on, they go out, and at some point the clutches will rise and we'll be away at some point. And we are underway. What are the starts like? It's a good start there from Thomas. It's a great start from the PMP cars coming down in towards the Source hairpin for the first time. It can be very dicey through here. It's all about keeping your front wing clean there as we now head our way down the hill then all the way through Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time. Is that top of the hill going to catch anybody out as they make their way through? Thomas just about gets through then, leading this race. Verstappen, oh, he got a car around. It's a PMP car around. It's Cass who's now out of the race. Of course, no safety car here. We carry on, just coloured by yellow flags here as we make our way now on towards Les Combes. At the back of the field, they're going 3 wide through here. As you can see, there's an ILRT car struggling for grip on the entrance of Les Combes there. Deneen, oh, there's another car around there. That is Matty going around in the middle of Les Combes, and for the ILRT car there, it is not a good start whatsoever. But yes, Eau Rouge and Radion did catch out a driver. It was Cass who just dropped the back end there. Unfortunately, those rear tyres were not warm enough, and he's out of the race then. So PMP down to 3 cars now in this race, but a good start from Thomas though. He's got himself 3/10 clear of the QVR car behind. Meanwhile, Ginger then is following his teammate Geordie through there, and they're going to be they're not going to be too impressed there as Jonas, I think, has just got past Hazara. I think that's a team order there as Hazara lets him through. And you've got 3 TNR cars here, and yeah, you can see there Hazara letting another teammate through just before the final couple of corners. Thomas though leads then as we make our way through Blanchimont now, through that turn 17. And you can see Droppier's not letting them get anywhere here on the way towards the bus stop chicane. A little bit of a hectic start here, but we've got 19 cars still running.
We do, and I did see from the back here and that there was somebody who got wing damage into the Source on lap 1. But it wasn't a big carnage this time. Obviously, there was Cassie G in on the top of Radion, but except for that, the start looked fairly clean. Obviously, ILRT Matty too having that spin, but it's been a fairly clean start there.
Fairly clean start indeed. Campbell, meanwhile, has got himself a better start. He's 4th place right now. As just having a look here, Drop your 2nd, Zach in 3rd, Campbell in 4th. I'm seeing 3 QVR cars. Verstappen is away down the field at the moment. He's all the way down in 15th place, so not a good start from him, as they were occupying 2nd to 6th there, those QVR cars. Meanwhile, then Ice-T
making a move. He tried to, but he couldn't make it finish, but he's not giving up on it yet. As he exited Les Combes, he's going to have to concede it for now.
Yeah, we saw Geordie there getting it a little bit wrong there. Ginger is all over the back of him, and obviously if they're in a party together, they'll be looking to just try and get some moves done. Geordie loses the back end there. He's onto the grass then, in through Pouan. He's very, very lucky to have saved that one, but cars have got to avoid him. That was Ice-T being one of them. Thomas here for the TNR team, trying to find a way through, but Geordie's lost a mountain of time there, and that's all about that curb on the left-hand side going through Pouan. If you hit that, the car just loses all sorts of stability. The rear end over-rotates, and you find yourself spinning around. I think Geordie's there very lucky not to come away with seemingly any damage.
For this time, obviously Pouan, as you mentioned, not the greatest corner, and it is one of those corners where drivers tend to have an issue. Luckily, he managed to save it this time.
Meanwhile, Thomas there for the TNR team is right on the back of Geordie once again as we make our way down towards La Source. DRS is now online as we're on to the 3rd lap of this race. As you can see there, Thomas making his way now down towards La Source. Meanwhile, then Droppier's only a couple of tenths back then as we head through Eau Rouge and then up Radion here through that high chicane, then on towards the Kemmel Straight. DRS wide open for Droppier now as he looks into the slipstream of Thomas, moves to the left-hand side now, and surely this is going to be a move done. Yes, it is, right before Les Combes, and Droppier gets the move done. He now leads in Belgium.
That is a crucial move for Droppier to do, and while you were looking at that, I had a look at LR Luke as he went into the pit for soft tires already now, Kieran, and that was what we were talking about. They don't really fade that much in this race. Know what the yellow flags are for, but
Deneen. I think Deneen lost it over the top of the hill through Radion there. He's got front wing damage, and unlike Cass there, he's able to just get away with it with a little bit of damage and not an entire retirement, if you like. But Cass obviously leaving the session. He's already out of this race as Deneen, they're really struggling for grip. He's across the gravel there as the ILRT cars 17th and 18th now, 2 of them, whilst the other 2, well, Jarno there in 7th place and Thomas in 2nd. If they're not careful, QVR are going to build quite a lead into the last 2 rounds.
Oh, they will, but it doesn't look like Thomas is done with Dropia though. Look at this, he's all over the rear of Dropia going into bus stop chicane. Back out of it this time. He has a better opportunity going down the Camel straight in not long. Look at that though. Look at those 2 QVR cars just sitting behind and waiting for an opportunity to.
Absolutely, in towards Lesor's hairpin we go. Of course, Deneen is out just after X corner there, just before Puon. But he's now out of the race, so another Livid car does not make it to the end of this race. Thomas then right on the back this time around. It's roles reversed then over onto the Kemmel straight now. DRS open for Thomas here as he looks to close in on the back of the QVR car. Moves to the left-hand side then as we head towards Lake Com. It looks like it might be side by side, and I'm completely corrected as Thomas gets the move done and he moves up a position. Zach and Campbell here seem to have lost a little bit of ground on the 2 cars ahead, but at the moment they're still sticking with them just for now. Jarnel, I believe, is now up a position. He's passed Ventink there down the Kemmel straight. He's now up to 6th place in the ILRT car. Ice-T, though, is looking to try and find a way past Geordie with that DRS down towards Lake Com. A little bit too far back, even for my liking there. You can see Kilwar trying to go through past Hazara. You saw there, I think that was Terror Racer, getting a move done on Yonis here. The moves are happening faster than I can scroll, Sandra.
They really do. And some of them are pretty good moves too. Not the easiest ones, others are straightforward on the straight. But it is nice to see that there is so many moves happening. It means that we're going to have some interesting racing on these last 7 laps. Ice-T's
right on the back of Geordie here. Now, Ice-T is pitted in and gone onto the soft tyres. Surely that must be to the end of the race, so we'll have to see how that plans out. We saw drivers trying to take soft tyres at France 10-11 laps and it didn't work, and that was at a shorter track, so we'll have to see how this all plays out then. Thomas for ILRT gets the fastest lap of the race. Ventic and Thomas now into the pits. Thomas for TNR, that is, into the pit lane. Campbell we're riding on board with now, going down the hill then, trying to follow Zach through. He's got that buffer of DRS then behind him. Ginger's just over a second behind. Of course, the detection point is just before Eau Rouge there. And let's see if Campbell can try and close in on his teammate here. I think Zach is going mode 0, which he is. And so Campbell goes through. Zach moves to one side and doesn't hold up his teammate too much. And because of that, Campbell has just set a purple sector 1.
Well, that is the great teamwork we were talking about earlier, Kieran. It's crucial to make sure that you don't hold each other up when you're in a team, and that's exactly what they're doing there. They're making sure to try to keep the quicker car ahead. Ice-T is trying to find a way past Geordie now. Geordie moves to the right-hand side, then moves back to the racing line. Of course, he is allowed to do that, as Luke now finds his way through for Livid. Past Thomas he goes, and now up into 10th place. Remember, all finishing positions are important. They're all point-scoring positions. So long as you make it to the checkered flag, you will score points for your team. So 2 non-finishes, that is, of Deneen and Cass. Meanwhile, then Matty is having his hands full here with Vogan and Matty. I think that's that's Matty and Hazara there battling away now in towards X corner. Matty's got the inside line, and Hazara just has to back. I think that was going to be Matty's corner all day long as we head now through Puon. But Vogan there up to 16th now, managing to hold on. Remember, all of these positions are point-scoring positions, so they're going to fight for them no matter what. Ice-T still right on the back then of, that is Ginger. That's Geordie in the PMP car there. Drivers into the pits. Thomas, Zach, Ginger and Jarno with Dropia and Campbell staying out. We've got yellow flags there in sectors 2 and 3. It is Matty who is around just before... that is the final couple of corners there. LRT Kilo making the move right before Blanchimont on TNRT Johnny's. And that is a move signed, sealed and delivered there from Kilwa as he now moves up to 14th place. That move needed to be made there. Ventink then is in 7th place. Can he try and find a way past Jarnel then? Well, not quite, but he's got the run here.
down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Of course, the pit lane comes out later on the track, so Venting's got the acceleration there. He's trying to find a way past Jarno. They touch there, going down the Kemmel straight. This time around, Jarno moves to the right-hand side. Venting now to the left, as he's got DRS that you can see there's a little bit of lag involved as we head towards Les Combes. But I think Venting, is he going to have this move done then? I think he's just about ahead, but you can see there is that lag involved, so I'm not sure if either driver knows that each other are there.
It could be a matter of decent care for these two, so it's really not that easy to say, but nonetheless though, they're out of each other now, and look at this, though, Venting right on the rear of Jano as they go through Puon. Venting struggling a little with the downforce in the middle of the corner there. It looks like Jano has the position for now. Yeah,
of course, that slipstream you're saying there, that dirty air, especially going through Puon, is not what you want to be in on worn tyres. These are fresh tyres, but even you can see there, Venting was a little bit hesitant there to stay full throttle going through Puon, at least in the second part anyway. Campbell extending his soft tyre stint then. Now, we saw this in the strategy at the beginning of the race here. Is this going to be...
I see around in Blanchimont trying to take the inside line on PMP Jordi there. Ends up spinning out, unfortunately for him. He's dropped down to 14th.
On Kilwa now tries to seize the initiative then, and gets past the QVR car of Verstappen, and that could be an important move in the team scenario. Kilwa gets the move up to 12th place, so at least he's ahead of a QVR car, one of their main rivals in this one. Now he's got to try and find a way past Terra Racer. The next real competitor, well, for the QVR team is Dropia and Zach, who are swapping positions left, right and centre because they're trying to work together down the Kemmel Straight.
They certainly are, and you can see there that they're going to keep doing that, but they can't really catch up to Thomas, it looks like, so it looks like it's going to be difficult for them.
Ventic is around at Les Combes and now falls to 11th place. Lots of drivers being caught out here. Of course, Venting had front wing damage on the first lap of this race, had to pit in, put on a fresh set of tyres, and now is struggling even more. 11th place now, but he's got to try and get back on it. In fact, no, it was Deneen who had the front wing damage, wasn't it? Otherwise, Venting would be really out of shape there, especially in terms of strategy. So Dropia, meanwhile, still trying to be behind his teammate of Zach here. Campbell still leading the way, but he's yet to stop in this race. Then I wonder if this is the moment. Yes, it is. So at long last, Campbell comes into the pit to make his stop. Thomas, meanwhile, will try and make this undercut work as best as he possibly can. He's built a 1.9 second lead over Zach. Let's see how it's going for Campbell. Well, he's still in the pit lane at the moment. Thomas is going to be making his way towards Le Source hairpin. On go a fresh set of medium tyres then for Campbell. There goes Thomas in towards Le Source hairpin. He's made his way past Zach through Dropia. I wonder now where that livid car is going to rejoin, or so that QVR car is going to rejoin, and Campbell rejoins just behind his two teammates of Zach and Dropia, but still in that DRS zone and ahead of Ginger.
Crucial to get out ahead of Ginger there, and now we're going to see those three QBR cars working together, and maybe that could give them the edge to try to catch up to Thomas, although it looks like he's gotten this one sealed.
Yes, we'll have to have a close look on that. Meanwhile, yeah, we've got battling going on up ahead. We've got Thomas trying to make a move here on Terra Racer. In fact, it's the other way around. Terra Racer has got the move done. He had the DRS. Meanwhile, we've got a livid car there of Venting trying to get his way back through after that spin at Les Combes. And Thomas loses a position to the PMP car of Terra Racer, who now moves up to 9th place as we head in towards Brussels for the 8th time in this race. Lots of battles happening all over the field as Matty now sets the fastest lap of the race. He's onto a fresh set of soft tyres and trying to just go for the fast lap of the race. He's on his own out there, but at least he knows that he'll get 3 points if he gets to that checkered flag in 18th place. Meanwhile, you can see there, that's an ILRT car of Kilwa, who will try and make his way through these positions as quickly as he possibly can to try and get more points on his side. Of course, they've got Matty there down in 18th place. Kilwa is in 12th. The other ILRT car, just trying to have a look, is Jarno in 6th place. He's 3.2 behind the 3 QVR cars.
3 QVR cars. Yeah, the 3 QVR cars and PMP, but Right now, though, I'm having my eyes on Venting as it looks like he's going to line up and move on Thomas into the bus stop. He was looking for it, but he couldn't get it done there.
Surely he'll have a go down at La Source here. He's into the slipstream. Will he try a move? No, he won't, because that was Thomas who had the DRS already. Meanwhile, we've got moves happening. Verstappen here. Has he got ahead? I think he was ahead already. That's just me creating drama. There is another QVR swap at the top here. Thomas, meanwhile, is in the meat of this sandwich, but he clips the grass there going through. He's just about held on to that one. Venting will try and seize this opportunity. Oh, they've come together, and Venting is off into the wall. And was that too much of a squeeze there from the TNR driver? I think Venting will have a lot to say about that one as he finds himself into the wall, and he's just painfully waiting before he can rejoin this track. Just looked a little bit clumsy there.
I wish I could give my opinion on that one, but obviously it might be a little biased and I didn't have the best view on it, but I think you're right. I think it might have been a little too much of a squeeze there. I'm sure we're gonna see that in the steward's office.
I think we are. Well,
Thomas going very wide, Impuan spinning onto the track and almost getting in the way for Verstappen there.
Yeah, that looks like he's lost it there on the inside curb. We've got another car around. Thomas is around from the lead of the race. Through the final corner, he's retired.
Ooh.
He's retired from the race. I don't believe it. The race leader spins at Stavolo, loses a chunk of front wing, and decides to park the car up. That's a huge blow for ILRT, and now it's going to hand QVR a 1-2-3.
Oh, I have no idea what to say to that, Kieran. He could have continued the race, getting the points, but now I gotta say, QVR is definitely the big favourite before the last rounds now.
Well, they've got to hang on now for 2 more laps. Dropia now leads ahead of Zach and Campbell. Ginger is everybody else's last and only hope of a QVR lockout, or at least of preventing it anyway, in towards Laycom. And he is closing in on Campbell, bit by bit. Kilwar, meanwhile, trying to take over. He's passed Terror Racer now, up to 8th place. Yarnell, meanwhile, is now the highest running ILRT car in 5th place. A rare error there from Thomas, and he's out of this race. And in fact, he did get front wing damage. He didn't retire because of the damage. I think he retired because of the absolute frustration of spinning out when you're just leading that race by, it was quite a margin as well.
I believe it was around 3 to 4 seconds, so obviously it's got to have been so frustrating. But he would have still gotten points though, and should have continued, but he chose to retire, unfortunately, for the team and for us, for the excitement, but it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, but I'm sure that'll be mentioned in the debrief later on. Meanwhile, Vogan here is trying to close up on his teammate here of Jonas up ahead. He's on the soft tyre. They're both on soft tyres, actually. Terror Racer, meanwhile, losing ground on Kilwa, even though he's on fresher soft tyres. He's not closing in. In fact, he's dropping away. Speaking of drop, there is a drop you're leading, and currently started the final lap of this race. But Zach here, I wonder if he wants to go for personal glory. It is, of course, a team event, but we have seen drivers get lost in the moment. Will he try and move for the lead of the race going towards Laycom? We're about to find out, going over the top of the hill now. And into the slipstream goes Zach, into the DRS zone, down the Camel Straight. Dropper, of course, has no DRS as we move towards Laycom. You can see there they are battling here in towards Laycom. Zach around the outside, Dropia on the inside, and Zach gets the move done, or does he? Because that is Dropia holding the inside line there. Oh, I would not want to be the QVR team manager right now. They are battling here for the lead of the race. They've got to be careful about the PMP car of Ginger, who could take away valuable points if they get a move wrong. In through Ix now and onwards towards Puan. The double left-hander. Dropia is in the lead of this one. Zach still in second place and still trying to eye up that victory here as we now make our way down the hill onwards towards campus. You can see they're just trying to keep the car intact. One more lap here, not long to go. Less than half a lap to go now as we make our way towards Stavolo here. Double right-hander, and I think Zach is going to try his might to try and find a way past to try and take this race win here. Scarily close to the tyre wall on the left-hand side. Last mini league, we did see someone crash out there. Zach, meanwhile, in the slipstream of Dropia as he make our way through Blanchimont. He'll surely try and move at the bus stop chicane. Will he go for it? No, he won't. He stays behind. In through the bus stop chicane we go. And it looks like here Dropia is going to try and take this to the checkered flag. Dropia wins in Belgium here and makes it a QVR 1-2-3 at the Belgian Grand Prix with Zach in second, Campbell in third, Ginger in fourth place there. Jarno recovers to fifth place, Geordie in sixth with Luke in seventh. Kilwar recovers now to seventh through penalties. Luke there in eighth, Terror Racer in ninth with Verstappen there. Well, he was in 10th, now fallen to 11th. His Ice-T in 11th, Verstappen 11th. Jonas in 12th, Hazara 13th, Bogan in 14th. Thomas there, who's just trying to limp home with that front wing damage, makes his way now through the bus stop chicane and onwards now towards the start-finish line. That's 15th place for him at the moment in time. Matty, meanwhile, and Ventink, obviously trying to battle away, but Ventink here will feel a little hard done by these results. The 17th place does not reflect his pace today. Neither does it for Matty, who's going to finish in 16th place. But of course, they are valuable points for the team. That's what they have to remember going into the next two rounds as the last two cars cross the line. But your winner here for the Belgian Grand Prix is Dropia here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And it's a QVR 1-2-3.
Complete locked down that podium for the QVR guys, and as you said, victory for Dropia here and victory for the team as well. And what a stunning performance there, Kieran.
Absolutely, and they'll be really happy with that one. Look at that, 3 QVR cars all in a row have taken the steps on the podium. No one else is allowed up here, they say. And, well, they're hoping to continue this run next time around. Of course, we will hang around and talk about what's happening next time around. But at the moment, we will have a look at the official, unofficial results here for the Belgian Grand Prix. And as you can see, it is a QVR 1-2-3. Dropia takes the win from Zach in second and Campbell in third. Ginger in fourth with Jarno fifth. Geordie in sixth. Kilwar in seventh. Luke in eighth. Terror Racer ninth. And Ice-T in 10th. Verstappen 11th. Jonas in 12th. Hazara 13th. Bogan 14th. Thomas 15th. Ventig 16th. And Matty in 17th. Non-finishers, therefore non-point scorers. Thomas from the lead of the race, Deneen and Kaz. Those 3 drivers will not be scoring points for their team. But how important could Thomas's retirement be, Sondra, in terms of a championship fight?
I will deem it crucial. I think with that 1-2-3 from the QBR drivers as well as Thomas's retirement there, I think it's going to be very difficult for ILRT to catch back up again now. QBR are showing great consistency, great pace. They're my big favourites at the moment.
Well, I think they've certainly proved a point here. I mean, they've picked up from a mistake from an ILRT car. That's one of the main things. And with that car not making it to the checkered flag, opting to retire from the race themselves, from the menu, it's going to be a huge blow. And to be honest with you, I would not want to be in the ILRT debrief room after this Belgian Grand Prix.
I gotta agree with you on that one. I think there's gonna be some heated tension in the ILRT briefing, and I don't think Thomas is gonna be very happy. I don't think the team managers are gonna be very happy either, and we'll see. Hopefully they'll manage to come strong back next round, but right now QBR are doing exactly what they need to.
Absolutely, and whilst we're waiting for those unofficial points to be put in the chat there, let's have a look at the calendar. Obviously, we are done with tonight's proceedings here on the 13th of May. Next week, we're not actually running League 1. It will be League 2, rounds 1 and 2 at France and Belgium to kick off their one. That's at 7 p.m. BST. Then we've got League 3 finishing off their mini-league. That will be at Japan and Germany. That's from 8:30 p.m. BST, where hopefully we'll have someone in there. I I think Aidan was supposed to be there tonight for League 3, but unfortunately he had to pull out because of internet issues tonight. So I know James headed it up for the second, or at least the opening rounds of League 3 tonight, so hopefully you did tune into that one. But hopefully Aidan will be back there for that one, and it will be James in League 2 there. So hopefully he won't have to do back-to-back. And then on the 27th of May, myself and Sondra will be back here, 8:30 BST on the 27th of May to see how this all ends up. So we've set up, Sondra, we've set up this championship battle. We've set up an opportunity for QVR to try and take the win here. And now we've got to wait 2 weeks to find out how it all ends.
Well, it's going to be 2 exciting weeks to wait there. And obviously QVR, as you said, they're set up for the championship title at the moment, but you never know though. It can all turn around in Japan and Germany if QVR suddenly have a bad race and ILRC come back. So you never know the outcome before it's really there.
And don't forget as well, if you like the league and you don't want to miss a race next time around, maybe you just haven't got space in your calendar, make sure you follow at Esports Mini, and they'll keep you up to date with all the latest dates and times, and all the championship standings will be uploaded there in due course. And if you want to follow the commentary team, well, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at KS McGinley. Good luck spelling it. And you can also follow Sondra on Twitter as well. Sondra, what's your Twitter handle?
That would be at TNR_ZE3EXER. So good luck with spelling that too.
Yeah. Let's just keep it simple, Sondra, for the Twitter handles. I'll have a name no one can spell, and you'll have the same. But yeah, do follow us if you want to. And 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to see if QVR can keep up this momentum. And I mean, it's quite odd. You've now got a week break. What do other teams need to do to try and catch QVR in that 2 week period?
Well, for the other teams, I think it's going to be all about focusing on consistency for the next race, because we've seen plenty of drivers showing good pace today, and the one thing that QBR has showed an immensely to be better at is the consistency. They've had all their drivers up there in both races, and especially this last one with the 1, 2, 3. So I think consistency is what all the other teams are gonna have to focus on before the next race.
Yeah, and let's speak about the next 2 races. Obviously, we've got Japan and Germany to finish off the league in 2 weeks' time. I mean, Japan and Germany are well, they're very much liked tracks by drivers. I just want to get your opinion on them, Sondra. What do you think about them?
Well, strangely enough, I quite like all the tracks we've done today, and I quite like both those tracks too. Japan and Germany, 2 of the tracks I really like on the calendar, and look forward to driving. Japan with just like it's not my strongest track, but it has such a nice flow, and I really enjoyed doing that first sector especially. And with Germany, it's probably one of the tracks I have the best pace on among those tracks at least, and really enjoyed not as flowing as Japan, but it's really about who can pull out the quickest time there, because it's all about being at the front from quali onwards.
And obviously you've seen the first 2 rounds here, Sondra. Which team do you think could go on to win the title?
Well, it's kind of hard to get around QVR right now. They have pointed themselves out as favorites, but I do definitely think that we have some LR and some ILRT drivers that has shown good pace, especially with Thomas, and we saw Wentink showing good pace in that race too. So right now I would say QBR, but I definitely think that both of those teams have the pace to beat QBR. The question is just, like I said earlier, if they can get the consistency together and if they can get the whole team to be up there.
And of course, we can't end this stream just yet, because of course we're just waiting for those points. But we have to talk a bit about your team there, Sondra, TNR. How do you think they got on tonight?
Well, I mean, obviously, first time up in League One for my team here, and I think there was a little mix of results. I think the drivers we had driving today showed good pace. They all finished the race, which we've mentioned a lot of times now, but we're gonna keep mentioning it. It's crucial because everyone gets points. And they finished the race, so that's the first objective. The second objective is just try to pick up the highest positions possible. I remember in France we saw Tijan picking up a P8, which was a strong performance there. I don't know which one was the highest placed in Belgium. I think it might have been TNR Thomas. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but I think the team has done a good job today. I think they had a few setbacks too, but overall they try to do their best, and that's really what it is about. Do your best and get the points.
So we've had the unofficial points here for the Esports Mini League 1. After 2 rounds, unofficially, QVR have 147 points, ILRT on 96, PMP on 82, TNR on 61, and then Livid on 49 points. So quite a lead from QVR, but we've seen it plenty of times in the past, Sondra. Just because you're on top after 2 rounds doesn't necessarily mean you'll be on top when it's all over and done with. The important thing now is surely to stay on top of it for QVR. They're in a great position to try and win this.
Well, they really are. I'm looking at it too, and with that lead, they now have a 51-point lead, and if I'm not mistaken, it should be 30 points for the winner of the race, so it's all to play for still.
It's 25 points for a winner. But as you say, the retirement there for one of the ILRT cars has played a vital and crucial role in QVR extending that gap. What could have been if that car limped home to the end to at least get a handful of points?
Well, if he limped it to the end, I'm not sure exactly what position he would have been able to finish in, but he would have had a few points at least, and ILRT really needs all the points they can get right now, so... But it happened, so as we've said before, it's all about refocusing for them now. They gotta find pace and consistency for the last 2 rounds and give it all.
Absolutely, and hopefully you will join us in 2 weeks' time when we come to that conclusion and crown the winner of Esports Mini League 1. Don't forget as well, we do have action next week on the 20th of May, League 2 starting from 7 o'clock BST, and then League 3, the season finale for them, which will be from 8:30 BST. Hopefully Aidan will be in the box for that one. But thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully we will see you in 2 weeks' time. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been Sondra Sorag.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.